Hello there, and welcome to our presentation on the Hypertech Group and the next evolution of blockchain. Thank you for attending. There's lots of information to come your way. Please pay attention. I know I made the mistake of not paying full attention the first time I saw this 6 months ago, and I came to the party 4 months late, but better late than never, as they say. The not fun bit first. I'm afraid we must tell you that the information provided to you during or after this presentation should at all times be considered general information concerning the technology behind blockchain, which is organic and fluid and changing every day, the technology behind cryptocurrency, and the possible opportunities that exist for you to participate provided by these technologies and by these group of companies. But under no circumstances should this presentation be considered any type of solicitation, investment, or financial advice. We have risks in every business we get into. We're here to show you this evening how we believe those risks are mitigated, and we do have a huge due diligence pack that you can look at and peruse at your leisure. Of course, past results are not a guarantee of future performance, and your continued attendance at this meeting beyond this point indicates your acceptance of the above terms. But above all, enjoy the presentation. We're going to make some pretty big statements here this evening. Please feel free to treat them with suspicion, because we can give you the documentation to prove their veracity. But we're going to make claims. They are actually true statements. But please be enthused by what you see. Don't believe everything, because documentation beats my conversation and my recommendation every day of the week. And we will provide you with that due diligence pack. Now, what is blockchain? For the uninitiated, some experts believe it could be bigger than the internet itself. And when those experts are actually the World Economic Forum, then perhaps we should sit up and take notice. Blockchain will and has already begun to impact on every element and facet of our lives. You're going to see a video about real estate tokenization on blockchain, but it's going to store our health records, our driving license, our music royalties, our streaming, our provenance in art and ownership, our title documents. It will, in fact, radically alter for the better the lot of man and humankind. So here we go. This blockchain video, about 4 minutes long, and then back to the presentation.
Welcome to New York City, the crown jewel of the real estate market. Everybody wants a piece, and now, thanks to blockchain technology, that may very well be possible. This $36.5 million development is being sliced into digital shares, or tokenized as it's called, so that investors around the world can own as much or as little as they can afford.
We have the typical bank financing on this project with a conventional bank, and this loan matures in January. We decided to take a right turn and tokenize the debt here on the property. The construction is 95% complete. We're starting to get inspections in the next week or so.
We have a bank deadline on us where we have to sell a certain amount of units or repay the entire loan by a certain date. If construction's been delayed, if the market turns, if competition pops up, and we're not going to be able to hit that deadline, what do? So by tokenizing the debt, it gives everyone breathing room to sell at a normal pace with the market instead of against it.
The people behind this offering reside across the East River, in that other borough. Here, the blockchain startup Fluidity has teamed up with broker-dealer firm Propeller to generate tokens by crafting smart contracts. And in so doing, they could be changing the way we all do business in the future.
When we started to look at the real estate industry, it's probably one of the most inefficient industries that exists currently. You have a lot of middlemen, a lot of lawyers, a lot of bankers, and just being able to create something that has real impact on an industry like that, I think you're looking at significant disruption.
But for a project determined to eliminate middlemen, there's a lot of people involved.
Motivator.
Coder.
I'm a lawyer.
Facilitator.
Strategy.
Project manager.
Developer.
Co-founder.
I'm just the broker. I'm a fan.
An important party that is absent in this equation is a bank.
There will not be a bank involved.
The process goes something like this. These guys create tokens on the blockchain. The tokens represent the condo unit's debt and can be traded as private securities. If token holders sell their shares, the purchaser can either preserve the tokens on the blockchain or cash them out, thereby dissolving these tokens altogether. This theoretically would produce more liquidity to a notoriously illiquid market.
It's a hard asset-backed secured loan.
We're taking private securities and we're putting a digital wrapper around them, which makes it easier to track and easier to transfer.
There's only 4 assets you can own in the world: stock, a bond, a currency, or a commodity. And we think every single one of them is going to get digitized, tokenize the world.
And that's already happening. A UK company recently tokenized this Andy Warhol. Now, 100 people own 31.5% of this $5.6 million painting. And when it rises in value, the tokens will as well. So is the same thing happening with New York City real estate?
Literally, 25, 30 million people can own a piece of this at $1 a pop. When has that ever been possible?
Technically, it's still not possible, at least yet that is. Many hurdles remain before this becomes a democratizing force for the masses, not least of which is the fact that these tokens are only available to accredited investors, keeping the barrier of entry high, open only to the rich. But all of this is very new and hasn't yet fully impacted the system. Blockchain innovations like this one clearly has the potential to disrupt the way we do business and even the way we define the very things that we own.
You know, if there's another downturn and banks say, oh, we have a hard time lending now, okay, well, I don't need you because I can tokenize my loan that I want to use to buy that condo there. And that's what I'm going to do. So now we don't need banks anymore. That is what's crazy.
So there's our What is Blockchain video, and that, of course, is a very famous real estate agent. If you've watched any of the shows about real estate in New York, you'll know who Ryan Serhant is. So blockchain and its impact on the world is kind of why we're here this evening. And just to move on to the next slide. Oops, here we go. Just to move on, what if you were offered an opportunity by the most stellar in reputation people involved in blockchain in the world? Let's say you went home to your significant other and said, Richard Branson of the Virgin Group offered you an opportunity to bring business his way. Could be very lucrative, I'm sure they'd be thinking. What if it happened from Jack Ma to bring business Alibaba's way? Or if Warren Buffett asked you to put your shoulder to the wheel and help Berkshire Hathaway, do you think it would be very rewarding for you? You'd certainly be interested. Well, what we have is the Crown Prince of Blockchain and the King of Cryptocurrency about to make this offer to you. So we will necessarily spend a little time on history, on heritage, and on the story so far, and on their credibility and reputation. It all started with Blockchain Global, founded in 2014, not last week. 2014, a multi-billion-dollar group with partnerships with governments and Fortune 500 companies, all covered in our due diligence pack. Through this, our founder invested over $300 million in over 80 blockchain projects and companies, including NEM and Tron, multi-billion-dollar digital currencies. This is the giant of the group. It's the largest known blockchain venture capital company in the world, a multi-million-dollar group again. Through this, our founder invested over $400 million of his own money in over 300 plus blockchain companies, including having equity stakeholding in 40 plus digital currency exchanges and being a verifiable whale or major holder of 12 of the top 20 cryptocurrencies. Here's the nimble arm of the group. The world's most advanced blockchain project is happening under the umbrella of Hcash in association and partnership with IBM. Quantum computing is about to be released upon the world. It's 1,000 times stronger and more powerful than the computers we use right now. And so it's going to need security-resistant projects, such as what Hcash is doing. So quantum-resistant security projects to keep our assets and our passwords and our social media, I guess, safe. This is in association with Purdue University, Monash University in Tokyo, and Shanghai universities. And that is Hcash. And the other giant of the group is the BW Group, formerly the BI Wang Group. Our founder purchased this in a $100 million acquisition in 2017. It has over $15 billion worth of assets mined and is one of the top 4 digital currency mining groups in the world. So this is a multi-billion-dollar group of companies with a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. It has tacit government reference to its relevance as well. This is the Australian Blockchain Mission to Consensus 2019. Let's enlarge it for you. They are happy with the support of the Department of Industry, Innovation and Science to showcase the best and most innovative partners from the Australian blockchain ecosystem. And in there is Blockchain Global. In there is Collins Star Capital. And in there is Hcash. So relevance and opportunity underpinned by the Australian Trade and Investment Commission official document. So who is this owner that we're talking about, this founder that has invested so much of his own money? Well, he looks like a pretty young man, doesn't he? It's Ryan Jew. He's also known as the Martian because it's as if he came down from Mars with an innate knowledge of the digital currency world. He was one of the first people in the world to read the Bitcoin white paper 12 years ago. He's earned the name the King of Cryptocurrency. When I mention the documentary that Amazon Prime did about him, I'll tell you exactly why. But he's one of the top 4 biggest digital currency miners in the world. He's a founder and board member of the aforementioned Hcash, the aforementioned NEM, and Tron, where he's an equity and technology partner, of HyperDAO, which is a token which is central to the Hypertech ambitions, of Molecular Future, which is a digital currency we use to withdraw value from the system. And he's an angel investor and up to 60% owner at one time in some of the most successful cryptocurrencies of all time, and makes standard investments as well, but in blockchain-rooted companies. These are NASDAQ, Australian, and Tokyo-listed blockchain companies like First Growth Funds, Rudin Blockchain, and Genetic Technologies. And of course, he owns the BW Group, having bought it for $100 million. A major shareholder in Who Exchange, in ZB.com, in OKEX, and an angel investor in the biggest exchange in the world, Binance, where through Collinstar, he still retains 3.9% equity in the most profitable and most well-known exchange in the world. And on the philanthropic side, he's opened and become a founder of Blockchain Center. There are 16 open around the world. There's an ambition to open 300 so that all of mankind can get some free education on blockchain. But a little virus put a stop to that about a year ago. 16 open, 284 to go. Ryan Zhu, the king of cryptocurrency, very much in his realm, as notorious and as famous as either Richard Branson, Jack Ma, or Warren Buffett, and ably assisted by our chairman, Sam Lee, and our CEO, young-looking Jaden Wee, well-known blockchain early adopters. Sam is a co-founder also of Blockchain Global and CEO there. He's a distinguished speaker at international conferences, has spoken at the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. He works with Fortune 500 companies like Amazon and Microsoft, and he's a regular guest on not just Sky News, but CNN, Bloomberg, Forbes, and BBC. So what has young man Jaden Wee achieved in his lifetime? Well, he became a multi-millionaire in this space in his early 20s. He's an executive director of Collinstar Capital. He's been a hedge fund manager. He's worked with governments in the UK, the Philippines, and Australia on blockchain projects. And he actually represented Australia in New York at Austrade 2017. But it's the digital currencies he's launched and made huge money from that have marked his place in this industry, like Qtum, Finovation, Ventures, Eternity, and you may have heard of Omis Go, all very profitable projects. And that is the foundation of the blockchain success stories that surround these people and make it a really, really good place to consider partnering up. They've played a major role in blockchain development. And as I say, my recommendation of conversation is always beaten by documentation. Here's Crowdfund Insider detailing the $300 million blockchain fund established by Collinstar. Collinstar Holdings acquiring the BI Wang Group in a $100 million US buyout. It's now the BW Group. Monash University detailing their partnership with Collinstar and their multi-million-dollar agreement to develop blockchain cryptocurrency. Yahoo Finance detailing the launch of Hyperfund, which we're here to show you this evening, and the Ogilvy project, and Matrix, which has been designated by CSIRO, CSIRO, the Australian National Science Agency, as the most efficient in the world at privacy-preserving blockchain protocols. So these are decision makers. They make things happen. And the government associations are many and varied. We've just taken it to one page to keep the presentation as short as we can. But there in the top left is Sam Lee witnessing and signing a memorandum of understanding with the Australian Trade and Investment Commission, with the Russian Bank of Foreign Economic Activity, with the Minister of Trade in Indonesia, with the Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Republic of Montenegro, introducing blockchain centers in Geneva and Bangkok, and signing a memorandum of understanding with the Danish consulate to support blockchain services there. And what about a group of companies that have their own card, their own Visa and MasterCard, and in fact, their own bank. Their bank is called HyperBC. It already has about 1.1 million customers. And here you can deposit your cryptocurrency and spend it anywhere in over 176 countries at point of sale with instant conversion. And on the Visa card, you have a withdrawal limit, if you have that much to spend in digital currency, of $50,000 US per day. It's quite a whopping amount. Don't know of any other of these cards that give you that sort of spendability. That screams credibility to me and reputation, that Visa would allow that level of spend for over 1.1 million customers. You can also stake or deposit your Bitcoin at 10% per annum interest on Bitcoin. And for instance, and there are others, USDT or Tether tied to the US dollar, 5.7%. Try lodging an actual US dollar and getting that kind of return. It just doesn't happen. So if Hypertech offered you an opportunity, very much, as I say, like Richard Branson, Jack Ma, or Warren Buffett, with a market valuation of over 10 billion, strategically across and vertically integrated into the blockchain space, which is going to come under severe pressure with a tsunami of demand for information and mass adoption over the next 10 years, the likes of which we've never seen, as the old world order fades away. We're looking at banks halving their open branches as people go digital and go digital currency. So this is an amazing opportunity you're about to be offered. The company are growing, or the group of companies are growing an ecosystem, and they want to fill it with customers. So imagine Google, if you will, without anybody searching, or imagine Facebook, if you will, without anybody looking up anybody else or posting news. They would be pretty boring places to be. Well, this technology also needs users. It's a group of very highly profitable applications in the decentralized finance area, in social media, in cryptocurrency mining, in news and digital banking and financial technologies, all around a supreme token called HyperDAO. What about HyperShow? Very much along the lines of YouTube. HyperNews, blockchain accredited news. There can be no more fake news. HyperMal, which will bring in all of the great features of Amazon and more. HyperTalk. What about a blockchain accredited and encrypted talk system? We all know that some of the social media apps that we use and have become used to, people are leaving because of fears of security and privacy. Well, what about a blockchain encrypted talk source? HPX, the company's new exchange, which they will have 100% shareholding in. Hyper mining, if you want to get involved in digital currency miners with some of the biggest in the world. And Hyperfin, which will allow revenue streams and leveraging and financial products across the digital currency spectrum in one highly profitable ecosystem. What do we need? We need to fill it with customers, and that's where we come in. This is the opportunity for you. Hypertech want 30 million customers. They only have 1.5 million to formulate and execute a stock market IPO of circa $300 billion. Every customer of every free application in the world has an inherent value of possibly $1,000 and upwards. And the calculations here are that with 30 million interacting customers on all of the technology, we can go to a stock market IPO of circa $300 billion. It's ambitious, but these guys are multi-billionaires already. And so introducing Hyperfund Global, the reason we're here tonight, to help us bring blockchain to the masses and get rewarded very, very well for doing so. The opportunity is here for everybody. The minimum membership is $300, and any multiple of 300, 500, or 1,000 up to, there is no limit actually. So whether you come in for a $300 membership or a $500,000 membership, there's no discrimination. Everybody gets the same pro rata percentages and the access to all of the goodies. And some of those goodies are access to the Mars Academy, growing every day blockchain and cryptocurrency knowledge from 3 of the top universities in the world. Why is it called the Mars Academy? Because our founder is known as the Martian, Ryan Zhu. Most importantly, the financial compensation here is received on a daily basis. And just in case you think you're hearing me wrong, yes, when you join with a membership of 300, 500, 1,000, or any multiple thereof with no upper limit, you will receive 0.5 to 1% daily passive rewards on your membership package. Now, there is no health club or spa or golf club or football club or sailing club that you will join that will give you your membership money back and more. That's where the good stuff comes in some of the later slides. But yes, you will receive 0.5 to 1% daily. That's a minimum of 15% per month passive rewards on your membership package. And then there are, as we say, the side dishes, the launches, the previous launches of Hcash, HyperDAO, and Molecular Future, where our members got pre-sale offers of these launching tokens. So you can get in early on new projects at maybe 20 to 30% BMV or below market value. So there's lots of goodies and a wealth of benefits for every member. So how does it work? Here is the Hyperfund Community Rewards Program. You purchase your membership. You change your fiat currency, whether that's a pound sterling, a euro, a US dollar, a Chinese yen, an Australian dollar, or whatever currency in the world. You change it to USDT. Now, USDT is tether, and that's tied to the US dollar. So 1 USDT is equal to $1, and on the inside of the system internally, because this is a rewards program, it's worth 1 HU. Now imagine, if you will, before we even explain, that you can gather as many of these HUs as you want inside the system and cash them out at the back end for digital or fiat currency. This is how it works. Your daily rewards, depending on the size of your package, will always be a minimum of 0.5%. So if you have a 300 HU package, you'll get back 1 HU50 per day. If you have a 1,000 HU package, at the very minimum, 0.5% is 5 HU a day. If you have a 10,000 HU membership, you'll get back a minimum of 50 HU per day. These are the Hyper Community membership rewards to a minimum of double your membership. And then you can convert or diversify every time you have 50 HU. You can exchange that to specified cryptocurrencies on the Hyperfund platform, and you can move it to established exchanges where you can change it for whatever you're having yourself. Digital assets like Tether, Monero, Cardano, Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, you can change it to any of the digital assets on an established exchange. Or indeed, you can cash out to your bank in the fiat currency of your choice. And as regards the side dishes, they're always there as well. The opportunities like was involved in Hcash and Molecular Future to get involved in new blockchain projects and in possible pre-IPO shares as we get closer to that $300 billion IPO. So you can achieve your goals with Hyperfund, but it gets even better. The company have a promotion on right now, which triples your membership. It's normally double, but imagine getting triple your membership back from any club you join. You're receiving 0.5 to 1% rewards daily. That's 15% to 30% per month. Now, we're going to stay on the conservative side and stay at 0.5%. So with 300 HU membership, we'll give you 900 HU back in rewards. That's 1.5 HU a day. It's now not running for 400 days, though. It's running for 600 days. And in 600 days, when you do the maths, you'll have 900 HU back. At 500 HU, you're getting 1,500 back at the 3x promotion. That's a minimum of 2.5 HU a day. At 1,000, as I mentioned, you're getting minimum of 5 HU a day back until you have 3,000 in rewards back. And at the 10,000, as I mentioned, the minimum of 50 HU, which is the minimum you need to withdraw or rebuy. So that's a critical level to get to or to start at. No discrimination, of course. Many people start small and get there. Many people start with 10,000 if they can afford it. But passive rewards of a minimum of 15% per month. Let's look at how this works and could work for you. Let's say you join at an average starting place of 1,000 HU membership. You immediately in your back office see that the company have promised to pay you, because the 3x promotion is running and it may not run forever. They're going to immediately promise to pay you 3,000 HU. Remember, you can convert this at any time, 24/7, 365. So your total pending Hyperfund membership rewards is 3,000. What happens on day one? Well, you have a 1,000 HU membership. At 0.5%, they're going to pay you 5 HU on day one. So it's on the left and it's on the right in your combined earnings of rewards of 5 HU. This happens on day 2 when you have 10. Day 3, you'll have 15. Day 4, you'll have 20. And this continues all the way to day 10, when at that steady pace, you will have 50 HU earned. Now it is your choice whether you want to withdraw or rebuy. You can withdraw or rebuy at intervals of 50. Membership minimum 300 upwards. Rebuy minimum 50. So let's say you do rebuy and you choose to rebuy. What will happen to the rewards, the HU in your wallet, in your back office wallet? Of course, you will spend it to buy another panel or another mini membership, if you like. And this will promise you 150 HU back. So you've taken one step back, if you like, by spending your 50 HU, but you've added 150 HU to your pending rewards. So if you have taken one step back, you've also taken 3 steps forward. Now, what's 0.5%, the minimum of your 50 HU rebuy? It's 0.25 of a HU. So on the very next day, that's day 11, you're going to earn your 5 HU passive on the left-hand side, and on in the middle side, your 0.25. So your total rewards on the right-hand side are now 525 HU. And this goes on for each day as well. Now you're getting to the 50 faster and faster and faster. And of course, we can only visually show you one rebuy here, but people can rebuy as often as they like and speed up that progression up to 50 and other rebuys. And this goes on and on and on until on day 600, on the left, you are fully paid out. You got 50 already for your rebuy. The company will give you 2,950 over the course of time. That's on day 600 if you stay passive. There are still, of course, 10 days to go on the right-hand side because you bought that 10 days later. So day 590, you still have 2 HU50 to go. But on day 600, your entire commitment from the company is repaid. 2,950 on the left, 150 on the right. That's total rewards of 3,100. You only put in 1,000. You only did one rebuy. Imagine if you rebought every day or every second or third day or as often as you could, because aggressively rebuying can 6x, 6 times value your membership in about a year. Once again, what can you do with the rewards? You can withdraw, minimum 50 HU. You can rebuy, minimum 50 HU. And consistent rebuying, as I say, will give you approximately 6x your membership value in 12 months. Now, we've shown you the generous offer. We've shown you the reputation. But how can they afford, or why do they want to pay this kind of level of return for us in rewards, 0.5 to 1% daily? Well, we leverage the group's proven money-making system. They put our money to work. They are crypto whales. They market move, they market make, they market shift, and they can make money doing that each and every day. One of the largest scale crypto miners in the world, Ryan Ju, purchased, as I say, the BW Group, BI Wang then, for $100 million in 2017. It has, in its lifetime, generated an output of over 15 billion in assets. It still owns 60% of Bitcoin's hash power, which means the mining power, and that BW now produces 60% of all new Bitcoins. Insanely profitable. In his lifetime career, which is about 12 years old now, Ryan Ju is reported to have mined 300,000 Bitcoin, 2 million plus Ethereum, and 1.5 million Litecoin, and many, many others. Angel investors in companies like Binance and some of the biggest crypto and blockchain startups in the world, launching innovative projects at insane returns, which we will show you, staking incubated projects, pretty much the same thing, listing utility tokens. Here we go. The stellar career of Jaden Wee. He launched Qtum in a couple of years back, 3 years back, and Colin Star members at the time, before Hyperfund got to get in on that, at 30 cent. It went to the savvy participants on the exchanges at 49 cent, and Jaden closed the Colin Star position at 56.57, a whopping return of 19,037%. And if you look down on the right-hand side, you'll see the smallest return they've made is 355%. Can they afford to pay us 0.5% to 1% daily? Absolutely. Look at the real-world trading volumes of the BW Group on the 8th of February, 453 million. Of the WHO exchange on the same date, 756 million. That's turnover, but imagine the consideration there for each and every transaction. So you can make your fortune in partnership with the world's biggest blockchain group. Part one of this presentation, which is just about finishing, is how to do it on a passive nature. Or if you want to be passive and strategic, then on the rebuy system, of course, you can 6x your membership while still being passive. I'm not referring this to anybody, and that is your choice. But please do your due diligence. We have an amazing list. We have it on all of the social media channels. All of the URLs work. It's actual documentation. You may not have to print it, but you can see it's real. Get this document from your inviter and make sure to check that everything I'm saying is true and can be stood over. So what do you look for in an opportunity? Tell me you don't have it here. We have the most amazing owners, trustworthy and with integrity and with heritage and success in the marketplace. Their solid, credible track record and history is second to none. And I'll tell you about that, as I said, when we mention Amazon Prime. They have the resources, billions. They have the experience in spades, and they have the finances to deliver the generous promises that they've made. As regards reputation, there are no larger reputations in this industry. And this isn't $1 million disruption. This isn't a billion dollar disruption. It's $1 trillion trend. So we have all of this and more in the Hypertech group. But of course, what do you do from here? If you're interested, register today. It's simple. It's free. Do it before life gets in the way. Choose a membership. If you need more info, get back to the person who invited you and watch that Amazon Prime documentary. It's called Next Blockchain. It has 6 episodes and features the relevance of blockchain to the future of mankind. But episode 6 strongly features our founder, Ryan Ju, and highlights his experience and achievements, including going all in on Bitcoin and saving not just Bitcoin, but as you'll see in that Amazon Prime documentary, saving the entire digital currency industry as we know it today. This $1.4 trillion industry now credits Ryan Ju with its salvation back in 2014. That's the type of person, and that's why I mentioned him in the same breath, in the same sentence as Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, or Jack Ma. That's the type of person that wants us to partner up with him and his team to become part of the blockchain revolution. And if that's where you want to step out of the presentation, if you want to stay passive, then that's absolutely fine. But there is a way you can accelerate those rewards and really leverage your time. It stands to reason if we go to a good movie, enjoy a good restaurant, we'll tell all of our friends 100% of our members are earning rewards 7 days a week. They may only look like rewards, but each HU, as I said, is worth $1 or 1 USDT, 1 tether. And we can gather these like crazy inside the system. We can get as fast as we want with the return of our rewards. And we love sharing great experiences. So just to give you a quick overview of the acceleration plan. We'd love to show you in more detail. Maybe this presentation is not the place to go into full detail, but we will give you a flavor right now on the world's strongest blockchain alliance. To accelerate your rewards, here's what you do. You take part in the community reward. It's paid 20 levels. It's based on your downline's daily rewards. So if you want to bring a few friends and family to the table, you can refer 20 to unlock 20 levels. You might only refer 1. That will unlock level 1. You might only refer 2. That will unlock level 2. Level 3 will be unlocked on your third referral. And these can be referrals that join at 300 HU memberships. And you can continue to do this. There is no pressure. There is no sales pressure on you, no targets to reach. It really is very much at your own pace until, if you really want to take every HU off the table and take it from Hypertech and into your private custody, you will eventually unlock level 20. So you unlock each level with your personal referrals. Now, the community reward's strongest feature is level 1. So because you put the work in and referring this person personally, you will earn 20% rewards match on your referrals rewards. Now, this is a good time for me to really emphasize that you do not get commissions here. There are no commissions for bringing someone to the table to buy a membership, okay? This is the supremely compliant element globally of being in a rewards club, very much like Virgin Airlines, where you get tier points, British Airways, where you get Avios points, or even American Express, where you get, guess what? Rewards points, redeemable for products and services that are offered by British Airways, Virgin Airlines, or American Express. What can you redeem your rewards points in this opportunity? USDT, US dollar, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you like. But you're going to get 20% rewards match, not commission, on the first person that you bring to Hypertech. So let's say you started with a 1,000 HU membership. You immediately have earned 3,000 HU. It's reflected in your back office that the company are promising to pay you this. Okay, so it's going to pay you the very minimum, 0.5%. It's going to take 600 days for you to get your 3,000 HU from Hypertech. But you referred John because you like what you see, and John also takes a 1,000 HU membership. This releases 3,000 to him on the 3x promotion over the course of time. Now, 20% of that 3,000 is going to give you 600 HU. So at the very minimum for referring John, if John does nothing, you do nothing, you're going to get 1 HU extra per day in your 20% matching rewards. So you're accelerating your rewards. The scenario I showed you where you're repurchasing or withdrawing in 10 days is now reduced to 8. Now, you've only referred John, but you've brought a few other family members in as well. So you've unlocked levels, say, 2 and 3. Now, you may not know the next person who joined your business, but let's say John does. And a simple example, John refers Mary. Now, Mary gets very interested and comes in at a 10,000 HU membership. This releases 30,000 HU to her over the course of time at a minimum of 50 HU per day, or 0.5 of 1%. So you're going to receive on level 2, because you've referred more than 2 people or 2 people or more, 15%. That means because John referred Mary, you're going to receive 4,500 HU over the course of time. As fast as Mary releases her 30,000 HU, if she's passive, it'll be 600 days. That's going to give you 750 a day for 600 days. Not bad. If she gets active, which is her choice, that will speed up, and you'll also get your 4,500 in a much more timely fashion. So you can accelerate your rewards more. You're receiving 50 HU back now every 4 days. And this is where it gets really interesting, because you've brought other people to the table who are starting their own teams. And the snowball effect will happen. It'll reach a point of critical mass where you just can't stop it. And this goes on and on down 20 levels and as wide as you want to go. This will eventually bring you to the VIP rewards. This is a daily reward. It excludes your strongest direct sales leg. So let's say John is a superstar and goes off and brings in 1 or 2 million HU, and all of the other legs combined are counted to pay you this VIP reward, not the strong leg. And that's where you can receive a 0.5% to 15% override to infinity, not just down 20. You'll always get the 20. If you've unlocked 20 levels, you'll get that on your strong leg as well. But the infinity rewards discount your one strongest leg. This can be very, very lucrative. And when you hit VIP 2, which is halfway up the scale, really, you'll share in 4% of the company's sales at VIP 2 and above in the VIP bonus, which is paid actually the day after tomorrow on the 4th of the month. And our friend Goran Hemstrom has made this fantastic website. It's generic. It has all of the information. It has all of the events. It has all of the get started videos and how-to videos, how to open your membership, how to fund your membership in USDT, how to purchase your membership in HU, how to accelerate your rewards, and all of the Zooms and opportunity calls and trainings that you need in every time zone in the world. www.residualprofit.club. This is a plug and play system. You don't need to present opportunities like I'm doing right here. All you need to do is invite people to come and see them. And that is the only skill you need. There are 7 great skills in networking, but you only need one to become a multimillionaire, and that's the proper skill of invitation. And the real secret of invitation is say as little as possible to as many people as possible, as often as possible. That doesn't sound right, does it? But it's true. Say as little as possible. Just get them to come along and don't try to explain it yourself or you blow them out of the water. As little as possible to as many people as possible, as often as possible, and get them on these calls to a proven system that just works. Once again, in synopsis, how do you get involved? You register using the link given by your inviter to this meeting. You deposit your USDT or Tether into your account. You purchase your membership and you earn rewards. And then optionally, you can share and accelerate your rewards. If you've been burned or if you've been really saddened by the lack of performance of previous programs, let me give you some reassurance here. You don't have to put your reputation front and center anymore to have it tarnished and cheapened and beaten, because it's the reputations of Ryan Zhu, of Jaden Wee, and of Sam Lee that are to the core here and at front and center. They are building the biggest blockchain alliance in the world. They're targeting one of the biggest IPOs in modern business history, and they need us to be their customer acquisition arm. And that's simply all they're doing, rewarding us very well for bringing people inside the ring fence, if you like, to use their technology to purchase and give liquidity to some of their digital currencies, to cash out with them, to use their exchanges, to bring the fluidity and liquidity to the entire ecosystem. And the rewards, which are massive, will go to all of our achievers. And we believe there will be some IPO goodies as well in the form of shareholding pro rata to those who bring most to the community will get most. So it's a very reflective and honest system. That's how you get involved in this wonderful opportunity. It may seem too good to be true, but please get the due diligence document from your inviter. It's the next evolution of blockchain. Your dreams can become a reality here. I know it sounds very cliched, but there is no opportunity in the world that is like this. There is no leaders that have such stellar reputations. There is no better financial underpinning, and the vertical integration and breadth of these companies across the blockchain space means they are solely positioned to be the most beneficial or the biggest beneficiaries from what's going to be the mass adoption of blockchain in the next 5 to 6 years, as well as digital currency. I hope I've done justice to the company and the wonderful opportunity within. And with that, I'll hand you back to our host.
Thank you, Mick. Superb presentation. As always, I've no doubt you've done it superb justice. So, folks, if you're looking at this for the very, very first time, there is a lot of information. I'd recommend possibly coming back to take a second or even a third look, because it's important that you understand exactly the scale of the opportunity we have here. This is something that I was actually shown last July, but because I was so focused on a business that I was involved in and working really hard at, I didn't take a proper look at this business, not until Christmas, between Christmas and New Year. When I opened up the presentation and started going through it, I was very, very impressed by the information I was reading. But it was only when it came to the owners of the company and the founders, and particularly Sam Lee, the CEO of Blockchain Global. He's a guy that I've been following on YouTube for the past 3 or 4 years. He's interviewed in various financial channels, talking about blockchain, crypto, his company, the success. He's got huge recognition and awards for what he's done. That pretty much rubber stamped the credibility for me. What I'd like to do here is simply call on a couple of guys that's involved in this business and are building phenomenal teams. The first one I'm going to call on is Goran Hemstrom, that Mick has just mentioned. Goran's the guy who put together the website that we've all benefited from. It's a hugely beneficial tool to help educate people and grow your business. So with that, Goran has joined this business. I'll let let him tell his own story, but he's absolutely flying through the ranks at breakneck speed. We're just trying to keep up with the guy. He's superbly skilled, a complete gentleman, and I'll let you hear directly from Gordon. Gordon, if you're okay to come on.
There is a saying, Tony, that flattery will get you everywhere. So thank you very much for that. So
No worries.
great presentation again, Mick. Just love it. Look, it was actually Mick that called me, I think it was on Christmas Eve or maybe the day before Christmas Eve, the 23rd of December, and said, have you heard of Hyperfund? And I said, Mick, yeah, I actually looked at it 12 months ago. Why? And he said, well, I think you should have another look. And obviously I didn't really look at it because I think there's an old saying about having vision and not being able to see. Well, that was me 14 months prior. Similar probably to what Tony just said, I was preoccupied with other things. And when this was presented to me, my past appreciation for having been involved in the cryptocurrency arena probably flavored negatively my opinion towards really delving into the due diligence. So I didn't do it, bottom line. And it's probably cost me a lot of money based on what we've seen in terms of the results over the last 8 weeks. Nevertheless, you know, at the time when Mick tapped me on the shoulder and said, I think we should look into this, we were in a situation where we'd probably come off what I would classify as a business failure. The pandemic over the last 12 months, I think, has impacted the entire world. We all know about that. We don't have to get into that. But the bottom line is there's probably more people than ever right now in this moment in history that are looking for options. And so we delved into this. When we started to investigate it properly, it didn't take us long. And I'm talking about myself and a few people that I'd worked with in the past. We made a decision as a group to get involved and really knuckle down and get stuck into it. You know, the great thing about it is you can be 100% passive and you're going to get rewarded every single day. And if that's what you want to do, fantastic, do that. Or if you want to accelerate it, as Mick so eloquently highlighted, you can quite literally transform your financial situation. And while this is definitely something that requires effort, if you are prepared to plug into the system that has been put together, these Zooms and the use of the websites and things like that, and above all, the support team that every one of you will have a connection to, you can make it work. And so literally in 8 weeks for us, it's been transformational. My wife, you know, she has a pretty decent role, and already the smile on her face is getting bigger and bigger every single day, which always makes life a little bit more pleasant. And in fact, you know, over the weekend, we were sort of talking about her scaling back her involvement with her roles. So it's moving very quickly. It's worth digging into deeply, and it's worth taking the first step, becoming a member, getting a package, whatever that is, that's going to be suitable for you. And if you do like the idea of sharing things that add value to other people, then I'd recommend you really seriously consider that as well. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you very much, Gordon. Superb job. Always a pleasure to listen to you and benefit from your wisdom and all the support you've given everybody. So well done. Gordon has actually built a huge team, particularly in Australia. You'd pick up from his accent that he spent a long time there. He now lives in the Netherlands. The great thing about Hyperfund is that we can build this business anywhere in the world. They're legitimate in every jurisdiction, Africa, Asia, the States, Europe, you name it. We can build this business, and there's millions of people globally who'll certainly benefit. The next guy I'm just going to call on now is the guy who actually mentioned this to me back in July last year. I'm sorry I didn't actually take a proper look at the time, but I think he's forgiven me. He's built a massive business. In fact, we're all in his team. He's doing exceptionally well, very, very modest guy, but very, very knowledgeable. I'm going to call on Pinnigy just to share his story and some very, very exciting information. Pinnigy, if you're there. Pinnigy.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you now. Thanks.
Okay, excellent.
Thanks.
As usual, a brilliant presentation, you know, gets to the point, gives you the information you want. And as the guys said, definitely, look at the presentation a few times. Think of it like this. When you go and watch a movie, if you only watch it once, you think, oh, that was a good film. But when you watch it a second and third time, you think, wow, I missed all those bits. And that's the bit that's interesting, is when you see it a few times, you really get to understand it. And I suppose this bit is a bit like looking at the credits. The sad guy who sits right at the end and still watches the names go down. That's this bit. But guess what? Sometimes the credits is quite interesting. So forget all of what I've done and what I've built and all that. Let's really get down to the nitty-gritty of this. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a spreadsheet I put together. This was ages ago. Typical Asian, I just love playing with numbers. And you think, well, okay, where is this thing going to go? Because you're in those early stages where not much is happening and you think, what can I build out of this? So basically, this is just the number of packages. And at the time when I put this together, there was no $500 and $300 package. So as you can see, I haven't amended it. So if you want, say, 1,500, you just put 1.5. If you want just a $300, you put 0.3. It's nice and simple. So for simplicity, let's leave it at just one. So it's $1,000 package you've bought. On this side, it's purely withdraw. So all you're doing is you're withdrawing, and it's pretty simple maths. It just keeps your rewards keep coming in and you keep withdrawing. That's it. It's not really rocket science. This is the interesting part. This is where you start off, and this almost sort of backs up what Mick has told everyone, which is you bought your $1,000 package, you've got $3,000. On next day, you now got $2,995 because you've earned $5. So this basically does it on a daily basis. After 10 days, you now have your $50. And what I've done is this is purely a rebuy only. So there's no withdrawal option or anything in this. This just gives you an idea of where you're at. So you can see, if you just constantly rebuy, the number of days between repurchasing reduces. As you can see, the green lines are getting closer and closer. That's what you want to get to. Now, Mick told you that you do 6x what your original $1,000 would be in 12 months. He's right, because this is the original purchase, which is now 5,850. So, it's a day here or there. But this is your pending rewards, 12,650. So you can see the potential of this is huge. Now, what's even more interesting is I could have made this really complicated, but I thought, why complicate life when you can keep it simple? Let's say I bring, 10, 20 people and suddenly my team is growing. Well, guess what's going to happen? All that's going to happen is you're going to look at this and go, wow, this is where I should be down here on day 95. But actually, my figures are telling me I'm down here somewhere, which means you're way ahead of your target. So this is really simple. It just tells you what you can achieve. Because guess what? Look, everybody joins something. And the first thing they want to know is, look, I don't want to tell anyone. Just show me how I can make this grow on its own without telling a soul. So I've kept it that way. So you can just use the idea of this is where you start. If you buy 10 packages and buy $10,000, then you're literally repurchasing every single day. And the figures just go crazy. But this is where, if you look at this, right, think of this as you're purchasing stock. You open a brand new shop and you've purchased this stock. This stock is now selling and giving you an income every day. If you now just, sell out all your stock, at the end of your 600 days, it's like, that's it. Stock's done. Now what? Well, who's going to do that to a business? So the clever part is understanding how it works and using it to leverage from. And this is how you can build yourself a nice reward balance and just keep yourself being paid every single month. So this tells you, where you'd be at the end of month 1, month 6, month 12. But this is purely repurchasing. So just use this as a tool and say, right, this is where my target was, and I should be there in 12 months' time. If you suddenly introduce people, you might get there in 6 months, 5 months, and then you'll go, wow, I hit that a lot faster. So it's purely just for, information purposes, and the daily percentage I've used is only 0.5%. I wouldn't put anything more than that because it's easier to use the lowest figure possible. And then if you end up getting a bit more, it's a bonus. So this initially for me worked a dream. I actually didn't show it to many people. I just used it for my own, when I'm talking to people, I used to say, well, this is roughly where you should be. And then people will go, okay, because you've already looked at the figures yourself. So so you don't need to actually show it to anyone. You can literally just use it for your own guidance. So really, that's my addition to the team.
Thank you very much, Penny. That's very, very powerful. The figures are there for everybody to see, and most people, if not all, understands numbers.
Exactly.
So it's very, very powerful when you see that. Funnily enough, when you mentioned that, I took a look at an account today that started on the 15th of January this year, 10,000 account, and the guy has been rebuying every single day, obviously, and his rewards now are up to just over 35,000. So from 30,000 rewards from starting, is now at 35,000. So it's he's delighted, and he's totally passive, introduced nobody, just simply just doing what you just shown there. So it's very, very exciting. Now, obviously, if you take the action and to build a team, you will accelerate that, and your income grows rapidly if you put in the effort. So, folks, let me just see if there's any questions here in the chat box. Doesn't seem to be. So, Mick, you've done a fantastic job. Guys, Goran put that website together to aid everybody's knowledge of the business and to gain an advantage, if you want to call it. That website is residualprofit.club. It lists all the presentations. We have another one tomorrow evening, again at 8 p.m. UK time, but we also have one at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's obviously for everybody to benefit from. It's actually geared towards the Australian market, the New Zealand market, but obviously we jump on every morning. It suits obviously Europe too and Africa. That's another presentation that you can benefit from and let others share it and avail of it. That's all those details are available on residualprofit.club, that website. With that, I hope you found tonight of interest. We're just shy of an hour here. We had a little bit of entertainment before we started with the fantastic music Mick shared, and that's nice. Most important thing is that you took benefit and you took an interest in what has been shared here tonight. It is phenomenal what we can do, particularly in the space that we are globally with the pandemic. Many people are suffering. Most businesses are certainly closed. There's not a lot of income, yet we have bills to pay. So we've got something now that everybody's, since the last 12 months, have become very accustomed to using Zoom for family chats or whatever. But now we can build a business using this technology, as we have proven. And so the time is very, very good for each and every one of us here. With that, I want to thank you all. I want to thank Mick for his superb presentation. I want to thank Goran for his input. Likewise, Penny for what he's just shown. But most of all, I'd like to thank you.
Can I just quickly, jump in there?
Yeah.
I'll pass the spreadsheet on to yourself, Mick, Goran. Anybody is welcome to use it.
Yeah, sure. That'd be brilliant. And yeah, just get in contact, folks, with any of us, and we'll share that. It's superb information, and like the numbers don't lie. All we have to do is build those numbers to whatever level you want to. With that, I'd say thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning, and if not, tomorrow evening. How about that? Take care and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.